Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, whatever time it is video finds you. It's your boy Jay here, and this morning we had a live stream update kind of thing where they just basically addressed all of the feedback that they got from the survey from the open beta. And you know, we kind of knew what changes were coming based on some of the game industry journalists having a preview session like sometime last week, but most of that was text, right? Like they said, you know, in their articles that they wrote that here are some of the changes that they discussed, blah, blah, blah. But in this community live stream event, we did get accompanying video talking about some of the changes that we knew about, which is awesome to see. So that's what we're going to be diving into today. And they talked about some of the changes that they're going to be making to a couple of the weapons. Great, and they got accompanying video for that too. So first we're going to talk about general things like friendly fire, things like hit stop, and maybe how weapon progressions and weapon skills work, as we got a little bit more info on that. And then we will zoom in individually on the weapons as they were shown in the community event, right? Just wanted to give you guys a heads up as to how this video will be structured. And with all that being said, let's dive in. All right, so first thing to talk about is hit stop, right? I guess enough of you must have left that feedback in the survey that you'd like hit stop to come back, and they gave us some footage of Greatsword doing a true charge slash. And as you can see, as the weapon strikes get more and more powerful, we get big, juicy hit stop pauses. So yeah, hit stop is back where it should be, and you know, that's just something that's great to see. A lot of people were mentioning that the hit stop just does not feel right, and it's good to see and know that the hit stop will be back to where many people think it should be. So yeah, hit stop is coming back. All right, next up, we're going to be talking about friendly fire, which we did know has been a little bit changed according to the previews that we got last week. But this time we do have an accompanying video, and they said that upswinging for hammer attacks is gone. It's not. It's still here. But when you get upswing by hammer, you don't get sent flying and, you know, get removed out of your position and all that. You just get this knockdown, right? The same kind of knockdown that we used to get when, you know, a lance user would charge and run into you. You kind of fall back on your butt and you stand back up. Which it's okay, right? I understand why they did this, because if you're in a good position and then, you know, you're right next to a hammer user and he upswings you, you're gonna be, you know, flying across the screen, and you're out of position, right? Now you gotta attack a part that maybe you didn't want to attack. However, there is something to be lamented here, and that is the coordination between, you know, when you get upswing by, let's say, even a charge blade, right, or a greatsword has an upswing, you won't be able to build up mount damage from that, right? Those sort of things are gone by the wayside, but you do get to keep your positioning. Also, they mentioned that shockproof from Sunbreak is coming back. There's no mention of flinch free here, so I'm thinking the onus will be on the wielder more so than the person, you know, getting hit, right? Everyone's gonna slot in shockproof so they don't bother their teammates, and boom, that's just pretty much gonna be the end of friendly fire in Monster Hunter, because there is almost no positives now, right, from being upswing. Like, you know, you used to get upswing and you're like, ooh, I'm actually still in range, I can do, you know, maybe get some mount damage going, but that's gonna be gone now, I suppose. And shockproof is gonna be back, so everyone's gonna probably slot it in. It's probably gonna be a one slot, it's probably gonna be an armor skill that's easy to get. So yeah, friendly fire is damn near dead. Okay, next thing to talk about, weapon skills. That's right, more skills are going to be ending up on the weapons, and the weapons exclusively, right? So in this example, they show us upgrading the Hope Blade 2 to a Hope Blade 3, and you can see that Critical Eye gets added to it, right, when you upgrade it. And the rarity is still quite low, right? It's a rarity 3, so it's still low rank, and we're already adding skills to it. So it's looking like by the time we get to master rank, right, these weapons are going to have a decent amount of skills on them, maybe 3, maybe 4 skills. And then of course the slots will also open up over time as you upgrade it, which is something that you know, Toko the Sun said himself. So yeah, just a little bit more details on there. And then looking at the Critical Eye skill itself, it looks like it maxes out at a level of 5 instead of 7, so maybe it will be a little easier to squeeze on all those skills that that you want to your weakness exploit, critical eye, attack boost, blah blah blah, because as you can see the math is already changing. Even from this little detail you can tell that okay, critical eye only maxes at 5. Now does that mean maybe at level 5 we're gonna only get 20% instead of the 40% that we used to at level 7? Don't know. That's yet to be seen, but it does give us a little bit more clarity on how weapon skills will be working in the future, and how upgrading your weapons over time will also add skills and slots so that you can fit more skills onto those builds that you want, so that when you change your weapons, your playstyle will really be affected. So yes, it does make sense to carry 2 of the same weapon, as they may have different skills. So yeah, there's that. Alright, so we've hit the part of the video where we were going to be diving into the individual weapons and their changes, and we're going to start with the Insect Glaive, right? Insect Glaive. So the biggest change that we got is Vault Dance is back. That is the bounce. There you go. Insect Glaive got their wings again. I was ready to improvise and adapt and overcome, but you guys made enough noise and said, nah, we want the bounce back, and Capcom said, all right, we'll give you the bounce, okay? Now, in addition to the bounce, we actually got an offset attack at the beginning of Descending Slash. So I'm thinking while you're in the air doing the bouncing, if you time the Descending Slash right, you'll be able to do an offset attack, which gives you access to Doshoguma's Might as a skill. Boom, that's great. Another great change is that all of the extracts also got their free earplugs, wind pressure, tremor resist when you're already fully powered up, and we know how much easier it is to get all of the extracts. So there's that, man. Some people were like, man, I'm missing the loss of my free earplugs more than anything. You know what I'm saying? The bounce can go, but I want my free earplugs back. Look at that. We've got both the bounce and the earplugs back, just like that. Okay, and along with that, we did get a short video of Insect Glaive doing the bounce, and I'll play that here and then dive into the next weapon. Enjoy. Next up, we're going to be talking about the Lance. I do remember that when I made the Lance video during the open beta, a lot of you guys expressed that the Lance didn't feel quite like how you'd like it to feel. So today, they talked about some of the changes that they gave us, and it came with a little video. So I'm definitely interested to see the comments down below from hopefully the same commenters I had in the past. Let me know how you're feeling about some of the changes that they gave Lance. With that being said, let's go over some of the changes. So, charge counter now allows guarding while charging and can be chained into from any other move. So it looks like we're going to always have access to charge counter at any time. So giving Lance back that counter identity. We'll be able to charge counter whenever, okay? And then power guard will now charge to higher levels more quickly when used to successfully defend against more powerful monster attacks. So the stronger the attack that you power guard, it will charge to higher levels quicker based on what you blocked. You know what I'm saying? So I'm guessing this plus a couple skills of like guard, plus a couple points of guard up as a skill. Whew, we gonna be charging real quick. And then of course, perfect guard and power guard can now be chained into a new move. So we're getting a new option that we're going to be able to do after we power guard, which is great, right? And it seems to be exclusive to Lance because Great Sword, Sword and Shield, and Gun Lance did not have this, but they could get it. Things could change between now and then, but they're highlighting it now. So yeah, those are some of the changes. Sounds awesome. I wish that we would have been able to get this like sooner, or like maybe the beta would close later so that I could have more of an idea of how it felt. But I'll rewatch my Lance video and see just how different it is. And they also released a video to go with this to show off some of the changes, and I'll play that right now for you guys. Enjoy. Okay, Next up to talk about is going to be Switch Axe, which I think paired with the hit stop returning is going to feel a lot better already, but they've made a couple of adjustments to maybe some of the Monster Hunter math as far as how much damage it can deal and what it feels like to switch between the two modes. So yeah, let's go over the change list here. So various adjustments made so that switching to sword mode after building the axe mode gauge feels more satisfying. Which okay, cool, various adjustments, right? That's that Monster Hunter math I was talking about. And then parameter improvements made to various moves, including full release slash, so maybe more damage. And then this last part, this shows us this in the video that comes with it, which I'll play after this. But knockback is now negated when using full release slash. So during that build up of it, right, where you push the button and then you're building up the charge, right? You could have been knocked out of it before, but now that's not a thing. You'll just eat the damage, similar to how zero sum discharge kind of works, where if you're on the monster and you're doing a ZSD, you're gonna eat all that damage. So you do got to be careful. It's not free lunch. You do take the damage. However, it's not going to knock you out of doing it. So you'll take some damage and then you'll still do the full release slash rather than being knocked out of it. And you can watch that in the video that they gave us that I'll play right after this. Enjoy. Next up, we're going to be talking about Sword and Shield, which I kind of already liked the way it felt in the beta, but hey, they adjusted it, and all of the changes that they shown look and sound great. And this also comes with a video, so yeah, which I will be playing at the end like I have been this whole time. But yeah, let's dive into the changes, starting with Rising Slash can now be used while guarding, which is great. Parameter improvements to various attacks, especially normal attacks and perfect rush. So I'm thinking that sounds like a damage buff, maybe, right? That's that Monster Hunter math I was talking about, where like, yeah, sometimes a move is bad simply because its damage output is low, but if you were to buff up the damage output, suddenly it's good and it's worth it. You know what I mean? So there's that. Improve the responsiveness of the mobile chop and side slash combo, as well as guard slash and perfect rush. So I'm thinking that's that left to right movement that you can do while doing normal attacks. I think they're gonna give us more mobility when it comes to using regular attacks, right? And then the last thing on the list is improve evasion effectiveness of backstep and sliding swipe, which sounds amazing. I mean, my Steph Curry step back ain't all that great, but those of you who are, backstep connoisseurs who are really good at using it, it just got a little bit easier to do, so you can pull off that stylish backstep and avoid a roar, or backstep and avoid through an attack, or backstep through a projectile and then respond with a perfect rush in kind, which is always great to see stylish Sword and Shield gameplay. So it's looking like that's gonna be here to stay. And of course, they gave us a video of some of these things in action, which I'll play right now. Enjoy. Okay, so the last weapon we're going to be talking about is going to be the bow, which there isn't much to talk about. I wouldn't call it a nerf, just more like a rebalancing, right? Which kind of leads more to the philosophy that they have when it comes to balancing a weapon and taking in the feedback that we gave them from the open beta survey. So, rebalancing the bow with increased attack power and responsiveness of moves such as normal attacks and arc shots, while toning down the power of tracer shots. That's right. So they are saying the tracer was too strong, right? And it was like a thing that we were always using. So they're gonna tone down the tracer and bring up the normal shots so that there's less of a gap between them. Cool with me, right? And then this next thing is actually like a pretty big change. When targeting a monster with focus strikes, multiple wounds are now locked onto one by one with a brief delay in between rather than all at once. And I've seen many videos from different creators talking about how the wound economy is going to be a thing, right? Because with other weapons such as Insect Glaive and Charge Blade, they're going to be using the wounds to enter powered up state for their weapon, right? However, when you got something like a bow in the party that could just pop all the wounds hella quick with their focus strike, it was kind of, oh, this is making me wonder. So now here with the bow with this change, and you'll see it in the video that they gave us, it takes a lot longer for all of the wounds to be targeted. So if you're playing bow and you just want to hit one wound and leave other wounds for maybe some of your teammates in your party, such as a Charge Blade or an Insect Glaive, so they can get their extracts and or their Savage Axe mode, then you can do that just by focusing on one little focus strike, on one wound using that focus strike, rather than having it just take out all the wounds and then now you leave no wounds for your fellow teammates. So yeah, that's in the video that I will play right now. You guys enjoy. All right, now back to this screen, because now they're going to be talking about like just all of the other weapons in general, right? General wide-ranging adjustments to skills and elemental values to balance for full game content, including end game, and then overall adjustments to hit detection and low damage output compared to past MH titles. So yeah, they're just making changes to the game, you know, just kind of reassuring us that what we played in the beta is going to feel a whole lot different to the main game. Like they're making more adjustments than what they talked about today. And they did also bring up the possibility of a second beta, but Tokuda-san was saying like, hey, if we bring the beta back, it's going to be the same beta more or less, and it won't have all of these new weapon changes in there. So, I mean, we may get a chance to play it again, but it won't have all of these new changes. We're just going to have to wait for the full release to play the game with those changes. So there's that. There's a possibility of that. We're gonna see. But hey, that's gonna be about it for today's video. It ran a little longer than I expected, but hey, you know, wanted to cover it in detail and really talk about each weapon individually. And you know, it's still shorter than the entire live stream, which I still recommend you go and watch on your own time. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. And as always, people, happy hunting, and I'm looking forward to the comments that you guys will leave to this video, as I'll do my best to reply to each and every comment that hits this video. Have a great day, and once again, happy hunting.